Living with Nousha. I'm Nousha, a former climber of the corporate ladder turned lifestyle entrepreneur. Each week, I'll bring you an inspiring message to support you in designing and creating a vibrant, fulfilling life. Thank you for joining me today. Now let's get started. Hello and welcome to Vibrant Living with Nousha. I'm Nousha, delighted to be here with you today to answer a question from one of our viewers from Vancouver, Canada, Susanna. And her question is, how do I separate instinct from fear when making a decision? Thank you for this question, Susanna. And a way to really simply answer it would be to condition your intuitive mind beforehand in a holistic way. So what do I mean by that? Well, let me define intuitive mind distinct from our logical mind. So our logical mind is designed for survival, comfort, and keeping us safe. It's our comfort zone. So distinct from our intuitive mind is about expansion. It's about possibilities, and it's not comfortable. It's our discomfort zone, but it's also our learning zone. So it's important to condition our intuitive mind so that this discomfort can be seen more as an opportunity for expansion and learning and growth versus the state of fear. Okay, so what do I mean by conditioning the intuitive mind? So I know, Susanna, you're going to appreciate this. Being a wellness professional for over 20 years, I know that you are consistently training your body so that it's at its optimal. And so you condition it by, doing the strength training, the cardio, the flexibility, eating well, good nutrition, good supplementation, drinking enough water. All these elements go into creating a very strong body so that if someone said, hey, Susanna, let's go do the grouse grind, and you said, sure, you've never done the grouse grind before, and you went and did it, you would probably be very effective, and you would probably also really enjoy the journey. And that's because you had conditioned your body ahead of time. By the way, for those of you that are not familiar with the grouse grind, it's a mountain here in Vancouver that it's actually a hike up the mountain that's 2.9 kilometers, and there's an elevation gain of about 2,800 feet, and I think it's roughly like 2,800 steps as well. So it's quite the experience, and it always helps when you have conditioned your body. So that's an example of a stimulus coming in and you being able to handle it because you've already conditioned your body. And so it is as well for our intuitive mind. So here we have our intuitive mind, and if we haven't done the conditioning, then fear can creep in. But if we have conditioned our intuitive mind, then we can more effectively make a decision, which is the stimulus that comes in, and also be happy with that decision. So what are some ways that we can condition our intuitive mind? Well, there's many ways, and actually I would love for everyone who's listening to join the conversation and share, what do you do to condition your intuitive mind? And for me personally, I'll share 4 things that I do to strengthen and condition my intuitive mind. So number 1 is I create some downtime. So I create space for solitude. And I know for those of you that are introverts, this comes naturally, and that's really awesome because you have a chance to actually connect with your inner wisdom. And often people that are introverts are quite intuitive because they've taken that time and space. Now, for those of us that are extroverts, which I know you are, Susanna, and so am I, we actually need to carve out the time to be by ourselves, enjoy some solitude. And one of the things I love to do is meditation. So I carve out time in the morning and in the evening to meditate. And what this supports me in doing is really just to connect with my inner wisdom and to distinguish between those thoughts and feelings like fear, for example, and my inner wisdom, my higher self, and who I really am. And what I also love is as I do this practice more and more, I learn to actually consciously choose the thoughts and emotions that I want, versus being hooked into fear and staying in fear for too long. So, we all know the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. So there's no need to stay in that space, and one way that I like to use is meditation. So whatever your way is, it's to create space, downtime, solitude, so you can create that connection with your inner wisdom. Okay, so number 2 is to develop imagination and creativity. And so this is all about play. And specifically, it's about play with no attachment to an outcome. So it's play for the sake of play. So for example, it could be dancing, it could be singing, it could be obviously painting, creating art. And what this does is it really allows us to follow our intuitive nudges and just create with just this space to create. And for example, if you're part of a sports team and you're playing for the sake of playing, that doesn't really count if you have the intention to win, because again, there's an attachment to an outcome. So the key is to engage in something for the fun of it, with no intention for an outcome. And kids do this so beautifully. They're constantly playing for the fun of it. So that's number 2, is developing your imagination and creativity. And number 3 practice that I have is to listen to my body. And so any kind of physical activity will inspire us to listen to our bodies more. So, myself, I love dancing, I love yoga, meditation. These are all practices that have allowed me to connect a lot deeper with my body and its truths. And so I think, that intuitive nudge that we have, or that gut feeling, they talk about the second brain being in our gut. That's the connection that we can have to our body, in that we recognize that, versus being in our heads and in our minds, we're not able to distinguish that as well, especially if you're under a lot of stress. You're probably being bombarded externally with a lot of external influences that don't allow you to reflect and even connect to your body. So developing some kind of practice that will have you connect with your body so that you can listen to your body's signals. So that's number 3. And number 4, it's to mindfully let go of negative emotions. So emotions like fear, for example, can really cloud our intuition. And in fact, Vibrant Living with Nousha, there are some episodes where I share steps that I've personally taken that are proven, that work, to mindfully let go of negative emotions. So there was episode number 4, which is replace worry with wonder. And then there's episode number 11, which is the gift of comparison. And then also episode 20, which is 3 proven steps to dissolve doubt. So I trust that these resources and practices will serve. And thank you, Susanna, for this beautiful question. It has really inspired some reflection, I'm sure, for many. And friends, I invite you to join in the conversation and share what is it that you do to condition and strengthen your intuitive mind. So feel free to share where you see this video, or you can join us on our Vibrant Living community on Facebook. And friends, until next time, be vibrant, be bright. It's your birthright. Now, let's go out there and shine our light. Thank you for investing this time with me on the Vibrant Living with Nousha podcast. I'm so glad that you joined our conversation. If you would take 2 minutes to positively impact someone's life by sharing this episode, that would be wonderful. Please leave us a review by visiting iTunes. Let us know what you enjoy and what you'd like to see more of. It will support us on our journey to causing a worldwide epidemic of vibrant living. Until next time, be vibrant, be bright. It's your birthright. Now, let's go out there and shine our light.